Hey, how are you?
It's good. How are you?
Good, good.
That's Maya.
Hey, Maya. See you on Instagram.
Oh yeah, you probably saw the picture from the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How's it going? Good to meet you.
Yeah, you too.
All right, how are you feeling?
I'm good, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm okay.
Yeah.
So, ooh, how did I get into bike packing? Well, as a kid, I loved to explore on my bike. I would never be on time for dinner. My parents got frustrated with me, and I was always on my bike to do that. And I think, you know, that's how I got into mountain biking too. And then I wish I could take mountain biking to another step and just explore more and like carry more stuff. And there was more of a trend lately that people would put bags on their bikes and carry all their stuff and camping stuff. It's like, I gotta get into this.
All right, guys, so like I said, I've been working on this documentary for a while now, and I just wrapped up an interview with Paul here. So I think we did a pretty good interview, right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
It was fun.
It was fun?
Yeah.
It wasn't too hard, right? It was.
No.
It was, you know, I try and make people as comfortable as possible because this is weird enough for myself. But yeah, I think we got some really good details about the Ice Road Challenge. Now, Paul is probably the biggest expert on bike packing of everyone that I've met doing this ride so far. If you can see behind us, all of this gear is gear that he uses on bike packing trips with him and his partner, Heather. And I'll kind of let him take it away and let him kind of take us through how he's prepping for the Ice Road Challenge and some of his bike packing gear in general. So, Paul, what are you doing to actually get ready for this ride?
Okay, so tons of research on like what gear, what clothes I'm gonna need to keep warm, because potentially this is gonna be like, they say negative 40 degrees Celsius, which is pretty darn cold. I'm hoping it's like negative 20, 25. I can tolerate that. But you know what? I'm gonna be ready for anything colder, I think. So I'll show you my bike and I'll tell you what I did to my bike. So first thing, Terrain tires. Terrain's one of my supporters. I really trust their products, and they sent me their cake eaters. I went on a 4.6. I tried to get as wide as I can, and these tires are studded. These are using a unique stud from Fat Bikes Canada. Pete over there wanted me to try out these hex studs. Apparently they're really good grip on like solid ice, so I'm gonna give him some feedback on that, but I trust his word that because he's developed these during his time of being involved in fat bikes. And what else we got here? Let's go to Cobra Fist. So these are my pogies. They're 45 North Cobra Fist. These are like super warm. Now I don't know if you can see inside, but I use foam grips. Oh boy. So I use foam grips, and then I've even insulated the brake levers so that, because when brake levers get really cold, the cold transfers like right through your fingers. And one of the important things, this is like going to be a 110-kilometer ride. There's going to be a lot of sitting and pedaling. You need to get the sweep right on your bars. So what I did is I got myself some carbon fiber SQ Lab handlebars, 16-degree back sweep. And this helps kind of keep your wrists in a more comfortable position. And I've already done a lot of rides on this bar, and I must say, like, I almost want to put this on all of my bikes. So that's a really important part. Other things, these plasticky kind of pedals, these are race face Chester pedals. They don't transfer the cold through your boots, so I think that these are going to be really useful. As you can see, I've been using these already for a long time. They really grip well onto the boot, like the bottom of the boot. So that's important because I want to have a really stable step on the pedal. 28 tooth crank ring from Wolf Tooth. I really trust Wolf Tooth's components. They've been really tough. They've helped me over the years with my bike packing trips by providing me some good product. The 28 is a nice size. I can still pick up some speed when things when the road's like really flat and the surface is really hard. I just put on some new drivetrain beds. So I'm sticking with 11 speed. This is an XT cassette, 11 to 42. I think that's just adequate enough. And I know you're probably like, what's this? A SRAM with a Shimano? No, you know what? They work well together for me, and this is a KMC chain. It's just a light, nice chain. I thought the gold would be nice, like to bling it up a little bit. This frame is a Advocate Cycles Watchman. It's titanium. There was a limited run made of these. This is the same company as Esker Cycles, another one of my supporters. This bike was developed by Tim Kruger, who's a very knowledgeable guy in the mountain bike or frame building community. Wait, don't say frame building. He developed this frame. He used to be with Salsa, so it's very similar to like a Bear Grease. I love titanium. It creates a nicer, smoother ride. Just the rigidity's out of it. After going to titanium, I don't think I'd go back to aluminum. Now you probably see there's a dropper post on my bike. Yes, there's a dropper post on my adventure bike. I swear by my 9.8 droppers. They're a local company in Ancaster, Ontario. Jack, who's one of the guys behind 9.8, assured me that this post is gonna work just fine in a frigid cold. I know him and the guys that work there, and I've seen them out riding in the real cold with those posts, and they're working properly. Nice thing is it's not hydraulic, so it's worked really well for me. And why do I have that on there? When the snow gets deep and I really need to get some traction and like kind of, you know, balance on my bike, I just lower the post a little bit, lower my center of gravity, and I don't know, I feel more comfortable and able to get myself out of a rut easier. So that's why I use a dropper on my fat bike.
And a side note too, I'm not affiliated with 9.8 in any way, but I know a few of the guys are actually going to be doing the ride, right? I think Mark Sinclair. Mark Sinclair, who actually did the 8 hours of Hurton and Halliburton, that's his race. He's actually doing the Ice Road Challenge as well. So they're supporting you, but they're also supporting the Pikangikum ride, and they're local, which is pretty sweet. So I'm always down to help those guys out if they're up for it. But so what else do you have on the bike? So in terms of you know, hydration and keeping yourself warm.
Yeah, okay, keeping warm. Now you saw my pokies already. So I use these 1 liter insulated bottles. These are the classic bottles from Clean Canteen. Now I prefer the narrower mouth on the top, or the opening on the top. And apparently it helps keep your water warmer for a longer period of time. So I actually have 2 of these, and I know that if I put really hot water in this at the beginning of the ride, it's probably going to stay warm throughout the whole ride. And I have 2. I'm using this frame bag from Relevate Designs, and so I'll have 2 of these. This is the one I'll be drinking out of, and then when this empties up, then I switch it with the other one. It fits best upside down. Oh yeah, look, things to keep me warm, chemical warmers. I got these foot warmers for Christmas. Thank you, Heather. And I'm gonna keep a whole bunch of other ones, because man, if it gets cold, I want to be warm. So hand ones, I got toe ones in there, not too many. And then the frame bag's gonna be really useful, because if I shed layers, I can just stuff it in here. Or if it's really cold, then I can keep a layer in here and then put it back on. So I don't want to keep much stuff on my back, because back sweat, and then when it sweats, then that can get really cold. So yeah, I like taking pictures. So I have another Relevate Designs bag that I put on the front. I've used this before, and then it's right quick when I want to snap a picture, and voila, here's another Sony like you're shooting with. So that's there, and then I can keep more snacks in here. There's plenty of room to keep some snacks, keep me energized throughout the ride. You want to see more gear?
Yeah, so what, I guess, some other gear, since you have plenty of it, what is something that's going to keep you warm? Like, what are you going to be wearing on your body to stay warm? So, because we're looking -10 to -30. We don't know what we're going to have. This is my biggest thing, is I don't know what kind of gloves I'm going to wear. That's the only thing that I'm worried about myself. because I'm not doing the ride. I'm cheating. I'm driving a truck, following you guys.
Oh, come on, man.
But it's something that is going to be the most difficult part. Is like you said, you don't want back sweat. You don't want to sweat too much,
No.
but you have to stay warm. So what are you doing for that?
So I talked to my friends in outdoor stores. They've done these like epic trips. Not biking, but like doing hiking, snowshoeing, and skiing. One of the things they recommended to me was this Patagonia jacket. This is the Nano Stretch Storm jacket. It's really light, it's really thin, but really warm. And the nice thing about this is that I can layer with it. So, and it goes below the belt, nicely insulate. And it's even got a hood that can fit a helmet underneath, so that's really cool. Balaclava 45 North. I have an icebreaker one as well. Speaking of icebreaker, I like to layer with icebreaker. Wool is my best friend when it comes to like big rides, and it doesn't stink after a while. So I'll be layering up with wool. And for my feet, I just acquired these bad boys. They're like Salomon Tundra boots. They're good for like negative 40 degrees Celsius. Hopefully it won't go that cold, and there's a lot of space inside, like the toe box, so I can put a nice thick wool sock in there as well and keep my feet warm. And for pants, where are my pants? Don't show my I had my pants around somewhere.
Sorry, we'll keep it to this side here.
So you have to like pause that one.
It's okay. While you're looking for that, we were shooting the interview on the FS7ii. Since I'm actually terrible at showing you behind the scenes, and since I'm actually terrible at self-filming, so basically every interview setup I've tried to keep it pretty more filmic looking, less of the YouTube look, because it's a bit more of a serious documentary in terms of what we're going up there to actually raise money for. So I stuck to just some tungsten balanced, or kind of 4300 Kelvin balanced lights, if that means anything to you. And just kind of uplighted all the bikes to make them look nice. And I've got one more right over here to kind of show off the tool bench, and use the trusty 120D that is just blasting light on Paul currently. So just hitting that in the ceiling just gives it some ambient kind of room light there, and makes them look good. The eyebrows were important.
Yeah, I have these old man eyebrows apparently, says Heather, so I just gotta make sure they look good. But I hope the glare from my head doesn't like.
We got a little right now,
bright,
but
yeah.
This guy looks great. That one always looks great. So
right,
there's
good.
no worries. And you found your pants?
I found my pants. Yeah, actually it was Zach from Freewheel that suggested these. These are the Old Man Winter Bontrager pants. I put these two to the test already for as cold as I could have found. Hasn't been getting that cold around here in Southern Ontario. But these with long johns, I found them to be quite warm. So thanks for suggestion, Zach. Old Man Winter.
I actually just picked up those boots, the Old Man Winters.
Yeah?
I'm a little disappointed that we have no snow to actually ride
know.
them, but yeah. So was there anything else? All right, so we both missed something that's kind of important on any bike or any
Somewhat important, yeah.
Somewhat important
Yeah.
on any type of moving object, and that's the brakes. So what do you have for brakes?
So I use mechanical brakes. These are SRAM BB7 brakes, and the reason why I use mechanical is, one, like I know they're reliable for me. Like make sure that like going into the trip that they work fine. They're probably gonna do fine all the way. But also, there's no hydraulics. There's no oil. You might have like experienced like issues like using Shimano brakes in the cold, or SRAM seems to do well, but then I know like for sure that I'm not gonna have an issue with like mechanical brakes. So that was one of the key points, and I do my adventures with those brakes as well.
All right, so there you have it. That is Paul's setup for the Pikangikum Ice Road Challenge. Hopefully I can kind of meet up with a few of the other riders, see what they're actually going to be using. But I mean, this bike here, I'll get some more closer detail shots where the lighting's hopefully a little bit better, to actually show you what's actually on the bike. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. If you like this video, throw a thumbs up, give me a like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. and hopefully I'll get more consistent on YouTube. There's no promises yet, but when I put something out, it's gonna be good. All right, thanks guys.
That's it? Those are your questions?
That was it. You just flew through and you hit everything that I was really hoping to hit. So